What's up, everybody, and welcome to the ASA Brigade, a place where you can hear about all sorts of anime. I am one of your hosts, Mikey Shiota, and joined with me as always is...
Cosmic Prism. Hello, everybody.
And welcome to the start of a brand new podcast journey. Here comes a new challenger.
Yes, you might have seen us from Anime Bebe, which he used to run, and I am the one who was the last guest.
Oh yeah, way back in the magical year of 2023, where we talked about Sinfo gear before things fizzled out thanks to a random act of flamenco, as I like to call it.
So I have consumed Ryan, and now I'm the new host. So hello, everybody. Anyways, so I'm Icicle Prism, fanfic writer, mostly about Yuri, romance fan. I adore Fruits Basket, plushie collector. You will see pictures at some point, and girl band enjoyer. There's plenty of them. We will be talking about them at some point.
Oh yeah, and if you maybe remember, if you were at a convention in Minnesota recently, you might have actually seen us talk about girl bands in some sort of capacity.
Yeah, maybe a Mygo or an Abimujica.
But I am Mikey Shiota, of course, and I do not shut up about stuff like wrestling, magical girls, also girl bands, and also plushie obsessed.
I infected him while we were in Japan, so you can thank me for that.
Yep. And there's also a bit of a crossover between the last two, bands and plushies, where, oh boy, we had a start, and it doesn't look like it's going to stop for a bit.
Nope. Anyways, so, we came here to talk to you about You and I Are Polar Opposites, the anime that aired last season at time of recording. So, why were we drawn to this show? Well, you see on the screen here, if you're watching the YouTube video, Miyu. The art style is gorgeous. It's got a very unique aesthetic. It's kind of Dress Up Darling's second ED, if you're aware of that. And we're just like, hey, we like rom-coms. Let's give it a shot. Who is this pink creature that keeps on our timelines?
Has science created the ultimate combination of, girl and Muppet? Because I definitely remember going on, Blue Sky, any other social media, and just, seeing screenshots of this show, and I just really wanted to know, what is this about? And this looks really, really cute. I want to see more about what this show is.
Well, Mikey, the ultimate combination of girl and Muppet exists. Her name's Bochi.
also pink. So I'm wondering if there's a creation. Maybe she was the prototype.
She's the one that got socialized in middle school.
She was the first test, and they were thinking, oh, let's see if we can run this project fully. So yeah, we decided one day, hey, let's give this a try, see what all the hubbub is about. Put on the first episode, and we were like, okay, so this seems nice, cute, bubbly girl, and we also start to see, oh, she's flirting with a boy who seems pretty plain, pretty somewhat boring looking, and that's where things started to look a little familiar to us.
Yes, if you know any anime rom-coms out of the shonen variety, where we have shoujo rom-coms, they're amazing. We're not talking about those right now. Where it's usually a black-haired boy who's pretty dense, and the girl usually the one that has to do all the emotional heavy work, while he just goes, or on the opposite end, just totally freaks out at any little thing that she does, like, oh my god, it's like, oh, what are you doing? No, don't do that with me over there,
Or the one that it really reminded me of at the start is a show that we tried to watch a year ago, Witch Watch, where it kind of had the same start. Cute girl going after a black-haired boy, and it seems like there's not really much chemistry between them at the start. And especially with something like Witch Watch, where we just kind of tapped out after 4 episodes. I was looking at these early bits of Polar Opposites, and I'm like, oh no, please, not again.
Yes, so let's set the stage here. The series starts out with Tani and Miyu being next to each other. Tani being the guy who is a very studious, very lonesome person, but he's not lonely. And Miyu likes to ask him questions he would have no opinion about, like which mascara that she should choose, or where should she go for boba, or something like that, which he just says, I don't know. So we were both thinking, oh no, it's gonna be one of these shows.
Yeah, especially where basically Miyu kind of uses these questions, these random weird questions, as just mainly excuses just to talk to Tani. And every time he gives a non-answer, she's just all like, oh, you Tani, you're so great. Oh, you're such a card.
Yep. To the point that Miyu's friends there, Watanabe and Sato, tell Tani to let them know if she's bothering him. Just because it seems so mismatched, their energies, that they're worrying that she's bothering him.
And it eventually leads into a scene later on where Miyu is about to go home from school. She goes to the lockers and she sees Tani there, also about to go home. And then she thinks, oh, can I use this opportunity to ask him to walk home together?
Mm-hmm.
And their first time walking home together is about as awkward as you could possibly think.
Yep, because Miyu has been harboring a secret crush on Tani for a while now, and she feels like she can't talk to him because he's a very, lonesome guy. He doesn't fit her, quote-unquote, social class, and she's very worried about what people think about her at school. She's very sociable. She has a lot of friends. She's worried about, making a mistake of some kind. So, she eventually sees Tani leaving for home, and she says, hey, no one's around me. Let's walk home together. And then their hands
just brush together. Miyu gets a little embarrassed, like, oh, shoot. And then Tani, mind you, actually reaches over and then grabs her hand, and they are straight up holding hands.
Mm-hmm.
Which I remember watching this, and I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting that, because usually in these kinds of things, you just see, like, oh, I brushed up against your hand, and they both go, ah, or the girl just goes, ah, and the guy's like, what was that all about?
Yeah, usually he's dense or he's a weenie. Tani, he saw that she wanted to do it and just took charge and did it. This guy is socially awkward, but he is confident.
Yes. So a little bit of a point to it at the start, so that made us want to keep going with the series. But as the next day happens, we find out through one of Miyu's friends, Yamada, that somebody saw them walking together, and it kind of leads to an awkward moment.
Yep, little bit. So, Tani sees that Miyu wants to deny walking home with him, and then he sees her trying to avoid him at school, and eventually he says, forget about it, because he thinks that he is imposing on Miyu, so he doesn't want to hurt her at all, and that hurts her even more, because she doesn't want to lie.
Yep, it was just like a real bad misunderstanding, too. Like, her friends were kind of like egging her on, being all like, oh, what's going on with you and Tani, you two dating? And she's like, no, nothing like that. And he just happened to like walk in as she was saying that, so it was just kind of like a really poorly timed moment on her part.
Mm-hmm. And then when he leaves, Yamada kind of goes up to her and kind of goes, oh, wow, were you two dating? Just kind of jokingly. Then she looks at him and just goes, yes, I'm in love with Tani. And then all her friends stop and go, wait, we were just joking. And they said, well, go after him, girl.
Yeah, it was such like a really good moment. Like, I think there's like even like an added bit in the manga version where Yamada's like, I was just messing with you. I didn't mean to hurt you. Like, I'm so sorry. Please, just go get him.
Yeah, the manga makes Yamada look a lot worse because Miyu looks at him and goes, yes, I love Tani. What's wrong with that? And it makes him look so bad, but they cut that out of the anime, which I think is good because you don't want to bury Yamada like this because he's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a good egg, as we'll get into it. But I really love this scene here. Like, this, along with that little early hand-holding scene, were the moments that made me go, oh, they're actually kind of doing a little extra stuff here. And just the friends being such total bros, saying like, go, get out of there, fight for your love, fight for your man.
Yes, it was at this point we started to take notice, because we were expecting like, oh, they might get together at season end, or maybe they'll like hold hands or whatever. No, we got holding hands in the first 5 minutes. And now she's rushing out very slowly, mind you, because she is a goober and I love her.
And then this leads to, like, the climax of just the very first episode where Miyu gets onto that bridge, sees Tani right down there, and then takes a deep breath and just screams, I love you to him.
Yes, right there. She declares her love. He looks back at her, just stunned, because he was thinking that he blew it with her. And she rushes down, and he says yes! And she starts crying, which leads into something I adore, because Miyu's thinking, oh, he doesn't listen to me when I, like, ask him stupid questions. But when she starts crying, her mascara starts to run. And then he goes, oh, your mascara. Here's a handkerchief. So he listened when she was talking about mascara running.
Yeah, like, despite the fact that he was kind of given, like, little non-answers or not really knowing how to answer her whenever she was kind of goofing around him, he still remembered it. He still committed it to memory. And he to show that, yes, he was paying attention and he could be, like, real considerate to her.
Yes, he's not in his own little world. He's listening to her because he loves her too. And that's why he said yes. He just couldn't ask her out because he thought he was, imposing on her at some point.
Mm-hmm. Same with, like, the hand-holding thing. Like, he took a chance on doing that, and then when he saw Miyu do that little outburst in class the next day, he thought, oh, I did a bad thing. I'm so sorry.
So, this leads into Tani sort of worming his way into the friend group, which are one of my favorite parts of this show, because every single person in this friend group is so supportive of each other. There is no one here that's just here to cause drama.
Yeah, like, I adore the fact that these are just, like, the bestest buddies that you could ever ask for. Because, like, a lot of rom-coms out there, you have, like, your usual friend group to kind of support, like, your main characters to be all like, come on, go get together, or just be off and out and about doing, like, random goofy stuff. And sometimes, like, in a lot of those, they can be kind of, bam, they non-factors, or just kind of, like, whatever characters. But here, they really add so much to the world of polar opposites.
Yeah, literally, the day after Tani and Miyu hook up, Yamada races to get Tani on his way to school and ask him how it went.
Yeah, like, that's such a cool moment. Like, you can definitely tell that he still felt a little bad trying to, like, egg on Miyu about her feelings for Tani, but now it's just all like, okay, I'm sorry, I want to actually get to know you, this guy that one of my buddies actually likes. And then he starts to realize, oh, hey, Tani may be quiet, but he's actually a cool guy.
Yeah, like, Tani just says how much of a good friend he is, and Yamada is so taken aback, he just says, compliments will get you nowhere, except for pocket candy. Which is one of our favorite lines.
I remember when we first watched that, it just cracked us up so much that we had to pause the episode.
Yep, so this was one of the best first episodes I've seen. We were on the verge of stopping this show, and then we were so on board, you have no idea.
Yeah, and and of course, like, the biggest thing, like, the main couple gets together at the start of the series. Like, any kind of, like, romance or what have you that starts off like that always gets bonus points in my book, because I'm sure all of you out there definitely know the feeling of, like, yeah, I like this romance series, this is really nice, but for God's sakes, like, I want to see the couple get together. I want to see them be cute together, go on dates together, do all kinds of, like, partner things, not just prolong the inevitable for, like, 12 or 24 episodes.
Yeah, sometimes the chase isn't the best part. Sometimes you want to see what happens after the chase, the celebration, as it were.
Mm-hmm. And boy, howdy, do we get a celebration.
Anyways, so Tani slowly starts to meet the friend group. He's already met Watanabe and Sato, the two girls that are always with Miyu. He becomes quick bros with Yamada, who is just the biggest extrovert. If you're aware of Ryuji in Persona 5, he's a little like him, but not a delinquent.
Oh my god, he has, like, such big Ryuji vibes, it's crazy.
Yeah, I was expecting him to say, for real, the whole time. And we'll talk about the other parts of the friend group later, but let's just keep this core group of 5 for now.
Mm-hmm, but as we see, like, at the early bits of, like, the relationship, we can see how Tani is, like, really warming up to everybody, even to the point where, like, he's comfortable enough to, like, crack jokes in front of them. Like, there's a bit where they're studying in the library, and Yamada's all like, hey man, with you helping me out with this, I can join you at Tokyo. And then Tani's just all like, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yes, he's very dry with his humor. It's rare, but when it happens, it feels like people going, wait, did you just make a joke?
Which is also great, because it shows that he's not just a complete, blank slate, boring dude. Like, he's got a little, in addition to his confidence, he has a little bit of snark to him, and it's pretty great.
Yep. So let's back up here and explain who Miyu and Tani even are. So Miyu is a goofy girl who pulls the group together with her charm and extroverted aura. She has pink hair, she's a little bit of a gyaru, she just pulls people into the friend group. She basically made that entire group in middle school, and she's amazing.
And she also, you know how a lot of anime characters out there that people latch onto because they have, like, a single fang that kind of sneaks out of their mouth? Well, Miyu's got that beat in spades. She's got 2 fangs.
Yep.
Which also adds to the idea that I just say she looks like a Muppet. Like, she looks like something out of Sesame Street.
Yes, and that's also something I admire about Miyu. they don't try to sexualize her. She is just goofy. She is like a daughter. She is amazing. And they don't play the show as in they're not acting for the audience. They feel like they're acting for each other, which I love.
Yeah, like, I look at Miyu and I don't see her as like, oh, I want her to be my waifu. I look at her and go, I want to support you in your relationship, and just pat you on the head and say, you're doing a good job, girl. Go get your man. And as for Tani, as we see at the start of the series, it shows that doesn't really have a lot of friends. He keeps to himself, but he's totally cool with that. A little socially awkward, but of course remembers what people say to him and doesn't completely like sandbag them or ignore him. And also even does like little bits around the class, helps out with other people, gives them sheets, lets them know when like assignments are due, stuff like that, which Miyu is really drawn to show that, oh, he's actually like a really nice and kind and considerate guy.
Yeah, like whenever people ask him for his notes, he gives it to them, but then he says, just know this won't help you on the test. So he's willing to help, but he also wants to remind people they might be failing if they keep doing this.
Yep. So which is another great thing to show that he's also not a bit of a doormat. He can assert himself when he wants to be.
Yep. Even when he's tutoring people, he just taps the paper and says, this is the answer. He doesn't try and mask it with like, oh, I think if you change this, this, oh, you're so smart. Nope. He's straight to the point.
Yep, and that straightforwardness is what Miyu really likes about him, too.
Yep, because Miyu herself is very wishy-washy. She's very worried about what people think about her. Tani just says what's on his mind.
Mm-hmm. He has no qualms about what people think. He's just like, I'm just going to live my life, do my thing, and if people like me, great. If not, oh well. I'm just me.
Yep. So, let's talk about their love languages.
Oh, which leads to, like, the second episode where we get to actually see their first date, which, again, wasting no time here. We get straight into a date after they hook up.
Yep, so they go to a movie, and it's about a very sad tale about was it a witch?
It was a little yeti lost in, like, a snowy mountains and gets found by a witch, and the witch takes him in and takes care of him. It's really cute and silly.
And what's amazing is, this shows how they both think, because Tani remembered every, like, event that happened in the show, whereas Miyu read deeper into it and got all the subtext that was going on, where she understood why a character, like, took the Yeti in, or the little gesture of, like, oh, put his favorite thing on the door, and just little stuff like that that Tani completely missed.
Yeah, and it leads to, like, a really cute little scene where, like, Tani hears this from Miyu and then just goes, like, oh, I actually never thought of it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Which is great, because they both start, like, conversing about, how they saw the movie, instead of being all like, oh, you're dumb. Why'd you think that? Or like, oh, that's a real weird way of thinking things. Like,
yeah, at the start, Tani literally said, did you watch the movie? And Mew's like, of course I did. And then she starts rattling off the subtext stuff, and it's kind of turned on the table of Tani, who didn't catch that. And she gets to go, did you watch the movie? Which I love. It's not just meant to make Mew look like an idiot.
Mm-hmm. And, like, it goes to show, like, oh, through our conversations, through our dates together, we can start to, like, learn more about the other person and kind of, take a little things from each other.
Pull the poles closer together.
Oh! Which also, I gotta say, the movie, the little Yeti in the movie ends up becoming, like, the mascot for the show, where, like, he pops up in, like, little corners to do, like, little narrations, which is really, really cute.
Yeah, it makes little snow puns in the English dub, and it's great because polar opposites on the poles is snow.
Snow.
You get it? It's so cute. But, yeah, so both of them make an effort to show interest in what the other is in. Like, say, Tani. He heard her talking about the mascara and remembered that, and he wouldn't go to a movie like this on his own, but he says he likes to do it because it's with Miyu.
Yes. And that's really, like, the crux of their relationship. Like, they can be doing whatever it is in the world, but as long as they're doing it together, it's, like, the best date ever.
Mm-hmm.
And I also even love, like, other dates they go on where, like, there's one where Miyu decides to take Tani to the arcade to do the little photo booths, Purikura, and Tani's like, I have no idea how to do any of this, but he goes along with it anyway because he's just so happy to see Miyu having fun and wanting to, like, spend time with him.
Yes, and it even leads into a great moment later on where Miyu's trying on little hats, and she goes, this might look good on you, and then he slowly warms up to the idea of wearing, like, a cute accessory, because it makes Miyu happy.
Yes.
He's not just stuck up and insecure. He He's awkward, but again, he's confident.
And he's willing to learn, which, like, puts him, like, above and beyond, like, a lot of these, like, rom-com anime boys who are just kind of stubborn or stuck in their ways. Like, he's like, oh, Miyu likes it when I do this thing? Alright, I think I'm gonna try it. Or, Miyu thinks about this movie in a certain way that I never thought about it before. I'm gonna try to see if I can do that too.
Even goes back to the friend group. He didn't have any friends until Miyu. And then suddenly he has to learn how to interact with her, Yamada, Sato, everybody here. So that is a whole new world for Tani, but he enjoys this new experience because he wouldn't have this without Miyu.
Yeah, like, he doesn't just, like, brush off everyone. Like, he's happy to spend time with, like, all of these people here. And of course, like, it also goes other ways, too, where, like, we find out that Tani is a library aide and, like, works at the library certain days after school. Miyu doesn't really spend much time there, but she decides to go there to go see him and even checks out a book, too, which is great.
Yeah, because he works there with another girl called Nishi, who we'll talk about later. And the two barely interacted before Tani started dating Miyu. And then when Miyu came in, of course, all her friends come in, too. It makes the library a lot more active. And of course, all of Miyu's goofy friends make Nishi laugh. So, by extension of Tani, everybody's lives just get a little bit more lively.
It's amazing. Just, like, these two getting together just, like, brightens up everyone's day. And of course, you know, with any relationship, there's always, like, you know, little bits of doubt, little bits of insecurity. And something about this show that I really adore, the show says, like, it's okay to feel that way. It's okay if you get inside your head. As long as you realize you're just inside your head, it's all cool. You know, you have bits where, like, Miyu is worried about dragging Tani along, doing all kinds of these crazy stuff. But then he's all like, no, I'm having a great time. As long as I'm with you, we could be doing whatever.
Yes. An issue with rom-coms is that insecurity is used as the crutch for forced conflict. Insecurity here is a way for them to explore their different mindsets and ultimately become better communicators with each other.
Yeah, which a really great scene that gets us over is there's an episode where Miyu is, like, at home late at night. She sees an ad for, like, a new convenience store that's opening that's having, like, an opening day sale. She goes to it, but since it's late at night, she's, like, in her lounge outfit, you know, in her shorts, her t-shirt, no makeup on. She's wearing Crocs.
Yeah, middle school shorts, by the way.
So she's, for all intents and purposes, kind of looking like a slob here. And even she knows that, where she's like, okay, I'm just going to go in there, get the stuff, and then go back home before anybody sees me. Because she especially doesn't want Tani to see her. So she goes there, she bumps into, like, other members of the friend group, bumps into Yamada, bumps into Watanabe, bumps into another boy named Taida that we'll talk about later. And she's at least comfortable looking like a slob around them, because it's like, oh, they're just my dopey friends. It's all cool. Like, we've all seen each other in, like, worse states.
And they're also in their casual outfits, so they can just kind of roast each other.
And then Tani happens to show up, and then Miyu's just like, I gotta get the hell out of here.
She disappears in a cloud of dust.
And then, which leads to a great joke where Tani's like, oh, hi, Yamada and Watanabe. Acting as if he totally didn't see Miyu there.
And then she's trying to run away, and he just comes up on a bike. And is like, well, why'd you run away?
And it leads to, like, a really great conversation where Miyu is, you know, self-conscious about her appearance, especially in front of her boyfriend. It's like, she does, like, this really good analogy where it's like, so, say you have a plate of omu rice, and it's just all sloppily thrown together onto the plate, and it looks nasty, but it still tastes the same. But what if we have that same omu rice, and we put it on a nicer plate? It's very well presented with, like, the egg, the rice, the sauce. It's everything. What one would you prefer? I prefer to give you the nicer plate, even though it tastes the same. It's all about presentation.
Indeed. Well, Tani, of course, goes, I mean, I don't mind. The omu rice would taste the same. And then Miyu is so touched by this, and then goes, wait a minute, but I like dolling myself up. It's kind of rude if I put all the effort in and you don't even appreciate it.
Yeah, and then Tani's like, oh, I get it now. Like, Miyu putting in that effort, going that extra mile just for him is like, it's a good thing. It shows that fact that she really, really cares about how she appears in front of him. She wants to, like, look her best for him. And he shouldn't just be all like, oh, you can just, like, look whatever. It's cool. It's like, no, like, she believes you deserve the nicer plate and she wants to give it to you. And you should be happy about that.
Also because makeup and accessories, all that stuff, is stuff that Miyu loves.
Mm-hmm.
And she's not just gonna stop. This isn't a facade. She is this cute, but she just doesn't want to be this way all the time.
Yes. And of course, like, while she is also doing this, like, for Tani, she's also doing this for herself, too, because she loves it. And of course, it leads to, like, the flip side of that coin there, where Tani is a little jealous that while Miyu wants to show, like, this flashier side of herself to him, he's like, well, why don't you show that to your other friends, like to Yamada and Sato and Watanabe?
Yeah, she shows the casual side to them because she loves them, but not in the way that she loves Tani. She wants to show her best side to him, while she doesn't really care if simple friends see her in this getup because they're just friends.
Mm-hmm. So this scene is so great, and it really just gets over, like, how they're really learning about, like, these aspects of each other, and instead of saying, like, oh, that's dumb, that's weird, you shouldn't do that, it's like, oh, I get it now. Interesting. Like, they're being, like, open to, like, these ideas of, like, how to present each other, or, like, how to act around each other. And it's so great. And it makes a lot of sense. Like, at the end of the day, these are teenagers and they're still trying to figure things out.
Of course, this kind of parallels real life relationship dynamics where you're not supposed to control the partner. Like, this is supposed to be two people who grow with each other and make each other better. If your partner makes you miserable, why are you with them?
Exactly. Like, this is a team effort. That's why it's called a partnership.
Mm-hmm. So, let's talk about some conflict here.
Oh, yeah. So, a girl like Miyu, you can kind of look at her and go, like, oh, she can have any guy in the world. Like, why would she have Tani? Which they do talk about. But it's also, in a way, depending on how you look at it, she could have any other guy, and she did have another guy.
So, during the school festival, we find out that Miyu has an ex.
A boy named Rihito, and we find out how they got together, where in middle school they were in a friend group with Yamada, and they were like the best of buddies, like always like cracking jokes at each other, goofing around, and people in their class were like looking at them, and they think like, oh, look at this, boy and a girl like getting really chummy with each other, you two should totally go out. And it started off as like them egging them on, and then Rihito is all like, I'm just gonna say, what if we just hooked up, as a joke to kind of get them to calm down, because he assumes Miyu's gonna say like, ew, no, why would we do that? But he says, so, wanna go out? Jokingly. And then Miyu, in the moment, just being all like, I don't know what to do.
She totally thinks he's being serious right now.
Yep, just combined with the pressure, she says yes, and then they're both like, oh.
The class cheers while they're both just dreading this.
And barely any time passes. I think it was like, what, a day or so?
I'd say the end of the day, honestly.
Yeah, at the end of the day, they're walking home, and they just like, Rihito is like, okay, this isn't working out. This is way too weird. Like, dating you is like I'm dating my sister or something. Yeah,
we see that Rihito is a guy who's very much going with the flow. So he kind of saw the jokes about him and Miyu as just kind of, oh yeah, what if we did? But Miyu saw that as like a hint and then got all nervous about it. But then both realized their relationship was all wrong and quickly broke up.
Which, I gotta say, that is such a mature decision right there, because, again, in any other kind of like rom-com or any romance story, they would have prolonged that relationship as long as possible, never talk to each other about it, and then they end things off on like really bad terms.
Mm-hmm. It would have been fuel for drama. So, knowing this, you would think he would come in here and challenge Tani or something, or be kind of a villain, or maybe Miyu would have lingering feelings. Nope.
Yep, they immediately quash that, and also bury the hatchet and say like, hey, we haven't talked a lot since then. Again, I'm really sorry about that. I shouldn't have said that to you. And then Miyu's like, oh, like, we're cool? He's like, yeah, we're cool. So, like, going into this, Miyu was worried about, like, oh no, are things going to be really awkward with me and Rihito? But the fact that they were able to just settle things and just say, like, hey, it was just a weird mistake. I'm so sorry that we kind of, like, pressured each other into this. Let's go back to being friends.
Yeah, and to give extra context here, the reason they don't talk since then was because both are in different schools, but Rihito is still friends with Yamada, who goes to Miyu's school and is in the friend group. So Yamada, thinking nothing of this, goes, hey, Rihito, come to our culture festival. You know, you're my bro. And then the guy's wandering around looking for Yamada, runs into Miyu and Tani sees that Miyu has an ex. What happens?
Yep, and Miyu sees Tani looking at Rihito, and he just has this look on his face, just a look of disdain, just being all like, oh, you were the other one.
See, I don't think it was disdain. I think it's Tani's very conflicted here because he feels like Rihito is a adversary, but he's also aware that Miyu is her own person, and you shouldn't be feeling this way. So he has an internal conflict of, I want to be possessive, but I also want to acknowledge her autonomy and that she is not with him anymore.
Yeah, which leads to like a really good moment where like after Miyu sees Tani give like this glare to Rihito, Tani just kind of snaps back into it and he's like, oh, I shouldn't have thought it like that. I'm so sorry. He like excuses himself in the situation and just goes to like cool his head because he realizes, oh, I had some bad thoughts there. That was wrong. I shouldn't be thinking like that. I shouldn't be getting jealous here.
Yep, because what's the one thing society sees? Oh, the person has an ex? Oh, are they like sleeping around? Like, what's going on here?
Do you have lingering feelings?
Yes, so it acknowledges the trope. So what happens afterwards?
Afterwards, we get a really good scene where Miyu is talking with another friend, Azuma. They're talking about the situation, how Tani feels, and then Miyu just suddenly realizes, wait a minute. He shouldn't be jealous about this. I could have slept with 100 guys and it still wouldn't matter. I want to love Tani. He's the only one for me. I want to be sincere and dedicated and true to him and him alone.
Yes, and that's how it should be. Like, it is crazy how a Japanese anime is saying this when so much of that culture is based on purity. And it's like, oh, I need to take her flower. Oh, she's just unattainable beauty. No, Miyu had an ex very briefly, but it doesn't matter because she is currently in love with Tani and she is committed to Tani. And it doesn't matter what she had beforehand.
Yeah, and it's so realistic too, because who of us out there have dated someone who just like, oh yeah, I've had this many partners, or I've been married before, I've been divorced this many times. It's like, it's just natural. Like, people go in and out of relationships. Sometimes you have the right one that sticks around forever. Sometimes you have to try a few times. It should not matter whatsoever if your partner has had multiple other partners. As long as, like, you're the one that they are focusing on now, that's all that matters. Anyone else in the past, bam, they non-factor.
And it kind of goes back into, we were discussing, why is Miyu with Tani, this bland boy who's very straightforward, when one character, Taira, flat out says, I figure you'd be into a goofy guy like Yamada. And Rihito is kind of the answer to that, where she doesn't see people like her as romantic interests. She sees them as friends, or even siblings, and it's just awkward if you try and force it.
Mm-hmm. Which, that's also very realistic. A lot of times people get in their head saying like, oh, I want to have a partner that's exactly like me in every way, that has like the same exact interests that we can bond over. And like, sure, that can be fun, but at the same time, it's also great having a partner that's also different from you, that does certain things in a different way, or like different things, where, again, like Miyu and Tani, you can kind of learn about these differences and share with them.
Yes, you both have a window into the other's world, so you get to learn about, say, being a library aide, learn about his cat, learn about his family, or Miyu, learn about having all these friends, learn about makeup, learn about all these other things. They both get to have new experiences.
And they can bond and also broaden each other's horizon. Being with a person, being in a relationship, should be like making the world bigger than it already is. And of course, it shows that purity culture in general is bullshit.
Yep. So screw that. But this is not the only couple, actually.
Oh no. One of the cool things about this series is that we have multiple couples that get their own time in the sun to like build up each other's relationships throughout the series.
Yep. So, what's the first one? Who's the B couple?
So, we mentioned our goofy boy Yamada and the quiet girl Nishi from the library, and throughout the series, they start building a little bit of a thing with each other, because it all started from that one group session at the library where Tani cracks a joke at Yamada's expense, and then Nishi, off to the side, just giggles a little bit, kind of stifles a little laughter. And then Yamada sees this, and we find out through a little bit of a flashback that Yamada has always been drawn to making really quiet girls laugh. It really shows to him that what he's doing is so funny that even like the most quietest girl can actually find him hilarious.
Yep, because it's fun making someone like Miyu laugh, but that's easy. He wants to brighten someone's day who might not have a ton of friends.
Mm-hmm. And of course, Nishi, very shy, very neurotic, kind of worries about how she's perceived by others, and the little giggling thing that she does is something that she's self-conscious about, because oftentimes she worries that she's just being weird, eavesdropping on other people's conversations and kind of giggling at their jokes.
Yeah, she wants to not be perceived by people, just because she's so neurotic and so in her own head about how she's being perceived by people.
And through Nishi, we also learn more about her from her bestie, Rikako Honda, who I like to say is the greatest best friend out of all of these best friends here.
Yeah, she has no patience for this will they, won't they BS.
Yep, like she immediately clocks that, Nishi and Yamada kind of have a thing for each other, but they're being a little hesitant. So she kind of tries to do, like, everything in her power to make sure that these two are chatting it up or anything, or even notices that Yamada is using her as a bit of a go-between to go talk to Nishi.
Yeah, because this starts when Yamada goes into that classroom to talk to Honda, and then Honda is talking to Nishi, who she sits in front of, and the two start talking, and Yamada clearly wants to talk to Nishi, but can't find an opening. So Honda tries to be that opening, and it doesn't really work.
And the attempts that she does to, like, just get these two together, there's also, like, a running gag where anytime she sees, like, Nishi and Yamada having fun together, having a good time, she can't help but smile, but she doesn't want to show it on her face, so she kind of, like, tucks it in her lips, like that.
Yep, and it's hilarious every single time, because she looks completely ridiculous, which is funny because Honda is a very fashionable girl, probably second only to Miyu in that level.
Oh yeah, like there are scenes where she happens to just be in a crowd in the background and she's wearing like the most fashionable outfit ever. Like it's kind of crazy.
Which is also funny because she's also the most misanthropic of the group, where she flat out says, I have a disdain for everyone, or boy or girl, they bleed the same color when they are stabbed.
Yeah, she has like this hidden dark side to her, and it's just kind of great where she just says all of this just like very dryly.
Yeah, but it kind of gets implied that she puts on a bit of a facade around others, where she's very affable, but she only brings out the true side around Nishi.
Mm-hmm, to show that she's really, really comfortable around her, compared to like everyone else in this homeroom, which apparently she hates everyone in the homeroom because they all voted her to be the class rep when she was out sick one day.
Yep, and her class doesn't want to speak up at all. And it frustrates her to no end because she wants to have a little bit of discussion, but they don't.
Mm-hmm. Which also relates to how like she talks with Nishi. Like a lot of the time she gets a little annoyed with like her shy, wishy-washy BS, and she's like, girl, talk!
Yeah, she sees the cute side of Nishi.
If I could compare her to like any other character from like another anime rom-com, she kind of reminds me a bit of Nobuko from Lovely Complex. She is very much in that same vein of like, girl, you need to go get this boy or I'm going to destroy you.
Yes, she is our wingman who makes sure the show doesn't delve into 3 seasons of, oh, I like her, but I can't find an opening. Oh, miscommunication. Oh, man.
So we talked about a bit of Nishi, talked about Hondo. So let's talk more about Yamada himself. As a way to really get close to Nishi, he goes to the friend group to say like, "Hey, kind of interested in a girl, but I don't really know how to talk to her. So what do I do here?" And that's where they give him the idea to, "Oh, why don't you get her number so you can start texting each other."
Well, he actually starts by asking, hey, how do I get the number of a girl I barely know? Which makes everybody just stare at him like, what are you doing? And one person flat out goes, I'd be scared if you did that. Why would someone want my number? We'll talk about sad sack in a little bit.
But everyone's like, so, dude, are you getting feelings? And he's like, more like I'm trying to hold my hand out to catch feelings.
Yeah, he sees there might be something here, and he wants to explore those, because he's only been in love once.
Yep, he met a girl in middle school, and it didn't really work out. Like, it wasn't really clicking between the two of them.
So, Yamada, he lives in the moment. He's a very simple guy. He's simple, but he's not stupid.
Yes.
If he hears information, like Tani, he'll remember it, and he's trying to be considerate of someone like Nishi, who's very neurotic. So he thinks, oh, if I get her number, maybe texting will make her open up to me a little bit more.
And even then, they still have a little things to, like, iron out here, where Nishi tends to send, like, long-winded texts and things like, all right, said my piece, I'm done. And then immediately gets a reply from Yamada. That's usually only, like, one word, or all like, huh, really? No, that's crazy.
Yeah, Nishi is so worried about saying the wrong thing, she will agonize over text messages, send it like an essay, and Yamada just like, oh, she finally responded. Awesome.
Yeah, and then that sends Nishi spiraling, going on like, what do I do? He texted back. Does he want to continue the conversation? What else do I say to him?
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't really help when Yamada decides like, hey, do you want to like talk on the phone with our voices? And she's like, no, I can't do that.
She is extremely shy, but eventually he starts to make his way through that.
Yep, and also I love that Yamada isn't a complete moron about this, because in any other rom-com, they would have made a character like Yamada just be like a complete ignorant boob about all of this. Doesn't see any of these social cues that the girl is giving him and just kind of bumbles his way through a relationship. But here, Yamada clocks all this. He starts to realize like, why is she not want to talk to me as much? And then he thinks back to like the texts and like wanting to talk on the phone, and he's like, oh, I get it now. I kind of messed up there.
Yes, he's like Tani and Miyu, he's learning how someone not like him communicates. And that slowly starts to form something.
And eventually, not only does Yamada take note of the niche here, but the rest of the friend group does, especially Miyu, as she's been noticing her around since, she works in the library with Tani. She's been getting a little chummy with Yamada lately, and she's wondering like, what's this girl all about here?
And things come to a head when Nishi sees Tani in the shoe lockers, gets embarrassed, and runs away from him. Miyu sees this, and oh my goodness, what happens? She asks Tani, was that Nishi? So, immediately think, oh no, Miyu thinks that I'm cheating on her. And cue Miyu, ask about Nishi in class, like, so, what do you think about Nishi?
Who is she to you? What is she into? Like, and she does this with like a real serious look on her face, which gives Tani the idea of like, oh no, she's mad.
And so Tani and Nishi wrap up their library duty for the day and walk outside. And what do they see?
They see Miyu and the friend group all just like playing around in the front of the school with like bubbles and like skip bits and jump ropes and everything. And they're like, oh, hey, Nishi's here. We've been waiting for you. Come on, you should join in too.
Yeah, she like runs up to Nishi. Tani's expecting some big confrontation, and she gives Nishi a bubble wand and says, here you go, a star for the star. And then she pushes her to join Yamada by the street, and then Tani just goes, wait, I thought you were mad at me. Huh? I was just asking what Nishi's like. I just want to include her in the friend group.
Yeah, because she took note that Nishi and Yamada were chatting with each other when the whole group was walking home from school, and she definitely noticed that when Nishi ran away earlier that day, she was running away from Yamada because he was like right behind her saying like, oh, good morning.
Yep, so Miyu isn't stupid. This isn't supposed to be contrived drama. Miyu also trusts Tani.
Yeah, and then it leads to a great bit where Tani just collapses to the ground and he's like, oh, I was worried for nothing. Like, he fully expected that he was going to be the center of some rom-com drama BS, and then he's like, oh, I'm so stupid. Why did I think that? That was so dumb.
Yes, that's one of my favorite things about this show. It acknowledges rom-com tropes, but then totally subverts them because it knows we don't want to see that.
Yeah, because it's so exhausting when you watch an anime, a movie, any kind of thing where, say, the girlfriend sees her boyfriend hanging out with some random girl that's either, like, his sister or cousin or best friend or whatever. And she's like, oh, who is she? She's some kind of hussy. What the hell are you doing, man?
And that reminds me of an earlier scene that is this from the other side of things where, so Miyu has a brother who is a little bit of a delinquent. He smokes, he rides a motorcycle, and when he's leaving for work, Miyu jumps on the back and demands a ride. So they go on a ride, and he drops her off right in front of the school, which is also where Tani is currently, and he sees her get off the bike of some guy he doesn't know. So he's thinking, oh no. But then Azuma walks by, who is one of Miyu's best friends, and goes, hey Miyu, was that your brother? Oh yeah, that was my brother. And he clears it up right there without having to draw attention to it to Tani.
Yeah, like, that easily could have turned into a full episode where Tani is just spiraling, thinking like, oh no, is Miyu into bad boys? Should I be bad? Should I be wearing a leather jacket and smoke and ride a motorcycle to school? Is that what I should be doing?
Yes, because Miyu at some point says, oh yeah, I like this bad boy celebrity. So Tani's thinking, oh, does Miyu like bad boys? But then later on, during a date, he asks about this, and Miyu says, I like different people for different reasons.
Mm-hmm. Like, just because you like a character in something fictional doesn't mean, like, oh yeah, I want that in my real life. Like, no, it's fiction. I understand it's fiction. What I want in real life is you who's standing in front of me right now.
Exactly. So, there is actually a third couple here.
Oh man, 3 for the price of 1.
So, this looks great, right? Man, now I suddenly wish I was in love. Huh? It's just you.
The hell? Such a
So-
good moment.
So we have the sickeningly sweet couple. We got the nervous girl and we got the bit of a doof. So let's talk about the two. How would you describe them?
2 sad sacks here.
Little bit, yeah. Two people who can't get out of their own heads.
Yep, so let's talk about King Sad Sack, the insecure being Taida, who is dry, self-conscious about himself, kind of sees the world through like what his social status is, and thinks that people go on dates just to improve their social standing. It's not about what you know, it's who you know, you know?
Yes, so he is always in his own head about people's intentions of talking to him. He doesn't want to share any of his personal life, right down to not sharing his birthday with people, even though he's part of the friend group with Miyu, Tani, all the other people. Nobody knows his birthday besides one. We'll get into that.
Mm-hmm.
And when he hears that a guy like Tani got a girlfriend before him, he is baffled because he thought that his standing was a little bit above Tani.
Yep, and then that sends him spiraling, being like, oh no, am I even bigger loser than I thought I was?
Yes, and he flat out asks Miyu, why Tani? And he says, oh, I figured you'd want to date a guy like Yamada, who's kind of matching your vibe. But then Miyu goes, no, I admire how he's straightforward. I like all this stuff. And then Taida takes that information and tells Tani that she likes him for being straightforward, and he just says, oh, I know. While Tyra is baffled because he's under the impression that people don't compliment you to your face. So he has to, like, tell the compliments he hears, like, in private to people.
He's kind of like a stand-in for the audience who expects, like, these rom-com tropes, and he's like, wait, you're not doing those? Really? Huh.
Yeah, he always assumes the worst in people. So anytime people say, visit him at the store, he thinks they have bad intentions.
Yeah, but deep down it's like, dude, we like you. We want to hang out with you. Why are you being so sad about it?
Yes, and this all stems from middle school, where we don't know what happened just yet, wait for season 2, but we get the impression that he was perhaps a bit different, perhaps a little bit more of a loser.
Yeah, like, the only hints we get are a moment where he brings up how he had a change from middle school, and we just get like these quick little chibi version of him that definitely looks like really different. He has like different color hair. He seems a little bit bigger. And there's also like another flashback where it's his POV. He's talking to a girl, and she's like, "You're not how I thought you were." And that's all we get. But you can kind of piece together that through all this, he made a change through high school, hoping things would be better. But in his own head, he thinks like his social standing has gotten worse since then, despite the changes.
Yep, so he gets a job at a convenience store, and that kind of becomes one of the group spots to hang out, because it's a convenience store that just opened. So, of course, Miyu, Yamada, and a bunch of the people go by, and they see Tyra there. So, like, how you doing, Tyra?
He's like, oh no, why are you all here? Please leave me alone.
Yeah, he just wants to work there. He doesn't want his friends there just because he's so self-conscious about it.
Yeah, and deep down he's feeling like, oh yeah, they're all happy and peppy in front of me now, but they're really actually talking about me behind my back. I'm being bad right now.
Yep, he literally sees two girls who are Honda and Nishi just at a store, and one's talking to the other because he's with Tani, and Honda's like, oh, is that the guy that you are at the library with? And Tyra, of course, thinks, oh no, it's two girls gossiping about me. Let's get out of here, man. He's so insecure. It is funny.
And now the other half of this, we have the kind but jaded Azuma.
She is the person who's been with the most people in the show prior to this, and she latches onto the bad boys.
Yep, like she even says that her last boyfriend got thrown into juvie, and is just like, oh yeah, have luck with boys. But it's like, I can't help it. I just can't help but want to fix them.
Yep, she has this very low self-esteem, but she doesn't recognize that. So she allows herself to be walked over by basically everybody. and forgives people a little bit too easily.
Mm-hmm. Kind of also acts like the group mom a bit because they see her like, oh, since you've had so many boyfriends and you have this mature look about yourself, you have to be, the mature one, the responsible one, even though she doesn't really see herself like that.
Yeah, no, Miyu at one point flat out says, "Oh, I wish I had your foxy looks, Azuma." And Azuma just looks up and just kind of goes, "Oh, yeah, this doesn't lead to great things, by the way, Miyu."
And of course, she allows herself to just get walked all over by everyone, forgives people a little too easily. Like, there's a scene where she gets a text from like one of her exes just being all like, "Hey, how you doing?" And then instead of just ending it right there, deleting the message or whatever, she talks back to him, just being like, "Hey, how's it going? Like, this guy did like bad, was a horrible person, and you're not doing anything about it."
Yeah, she's very afraid to rock the boat at all. She's very afraid of losing any kind of connection she has. But we find out later that Miyu, at some point, pulled her into her own friend group, and Azuma started getting real friends who aren't there just because they're dating X, Y, or Z. And this leads to a really sweet moment where Sato and Watanabe, two people who Azuma has basically never just seen one-on-one, walk up and are like, "Hey, Azuma, want to join us?" And it's so sweet because they don't care about Azuma's past.
Yeah, they just care about like who she is right now in the moment. And they're like, "Yo, you're a cool person. We like you. We want to hang out with you." And Azuma's like, "Oh, well, all right." And they just like start having a conversation, walking down the street, going shopping together. It's such a sweet scene seeing her like, open up to like these new group of girls.
Yeah, we get the impression that Azuma was part of some rom-com BS because when they go to a bowling alley one time, Tyra sees a group next door to them who are from his middle school, and he starts to mentally freak out. And Azuma goes up and goes, "Don't worry, they'll ignore us. They don't want to talk to us either." And she runs into somebody in the bathroom, and they exchange pleasantries, and then ignores her.
Yep. She tells this story to Tyra, and then he actually stands up for her, freaks out, and just all like, "What, are you serious? They did all of that to you, and all you can be chill about that?"
Yeah, so Azuma explains that she was part of that friend group at one point, but then things got awkward when A started dating B, and then A and B broke up, and then A started to flirt with her, until B wanted to go back with A, so then he dropped her, and then another person was putting the moves on Azuma, and then started dating C. So she was basically just the stepping stone of the friend group.
Pretty much. And the way she just reacts about that is just all like, well, it is what it is. I should have seen this coming. Oh well. And Tyler's like, "No, you don't have to take this. You need to learn to respect yourself. You can't just like let those guys walk all over you and just treat you like that."
Yes, which I love because Tyra, despite him having no self-confidence, is very indignant about others.
Yes. He doesn't want to bring people down to his level, which also shows like, how much he sees himself. He's like, "I'm the lowest of the low. You do not want to be like me. You deserve better." Which also goes to show that he really respects and admires Asuma for who she is and feels like you deserve everything. You deserve the moon and no one would give it to you.
Yep, and it leads to an amazing moment later where they wind up walking home together, and Tyra's freaking out about this because he's not used to doing this with someone else. So he tries to duck into a convenience store saying, "Oh, I need to get something." And Ozma walks in with him, and he's like, "Oh, come on."
Yeah, you just see her in the background with just like a little dopey smile, and you just see Tyra in the foreground just being like, "Oh, why?"
Yep, Azuma definitely knows how to speak his love language because she can read him when he's trying to hide stuff, like, say, his birthday. So when does Azuma learn his birthday?
So, she learns his birthday from in class. In the dub, they say it's Spanish class, but in the original Japanese, it's English class. But he says what his birthday was in the other language, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I remembered it because that's what you said." And then gives him like a little sticker that she got in a pack of bread as like a little present.
Yes, and he values this so much because no one else knew his birthday because he didn't tell them. So Tyra takes the sticker and puts it on his train pass.
Yep, so it's something that he will see every single day for however long, and just as a nice little reminder that, one, someone remembered his birthday, and two, it was Ozma specifically.
Yep, and Ozma goes on and tells the friend group it's his birthday, and everybody goes to the convenience store, buys him something as a gift, and says, "Hey, you need to tell us this stuff, man. We're your friends too."
Yeah, it's so sweet. And it also rocks Taida's world where he's like, "Oh, people aren't really looking that down on me. Like, these people actually do kind of care." And especially Ozma, who is like, I remember his birthday. No one did. I want other people to share in his big special day.
Yep, and the one thing that Tyra adores, making Ozma laugh. Because
Yes.
Ozma herself is a very just serious, a little bit stoic, just kind of, oh yeah, I'm the worst, I have bad luck, whatever. But whenever he is being a bit of a goof, she laughs, and he loves seeing that.
Yeah, and that's like one of my favorite things to see throughout the course of the series. Seeing Ozma open up a bit more, because like you said, she was a little bit of, just like him, a bit of a sad sack. But as the series goes on, she is just opening up more and more, and I just adore the little moments of her just like laughing it up with everyone else. Like, it's so sweet.
So, let's talk about the end of the series, where all three couples go to Kyoto. At the current time, only Tani and Miyu are together, but the other two are making progress.
Yep, we do get bits where it's like, oh, hey, Tani is spending a lot more time with Miyu. There's a bit where he has motion sickness on the bus and she sticks around with him. Or even in earlier bits where the boys and girls are in separated baths at night, and then Miyu gets out of the bath, sees Tani, and wants to like sit right next to him. And they have a really cute scene where they're just chatting it up, and then they get on the topic of, hey, we've been calling each other by our last names for the entire time, even though we're dating. And Tani, bringing up the Riz in this scene right here, just whispers in her ear, Miyu, and that just really sets her off.
Yep. Like we said, this guy is confident. He's just awkward. He doesn't want to push Miyu's boundaries. So if she expresses, oh, I'd like this one to be breached, he does it.
Yes, and it's so great. Like any other series, the guy would be all like, oh, why do I need to do this? Or, I'm not going to do this. It's weird.
Yes, and going back to the motion sickness, I love this because Tani sits on a bench outside afterwards and, just kind of lets Miyu take care of him a little bit. And then Tyra, who to this point at the start of the series didn't even know Tani, decides to go to a nearby vending machine, get him some soda, thinking, oh, this will help settle his stomach. And then Ozma comes over saying, hey, what you doing? And then she sees, oh, is that for Tani? So it kind of teases him a little bit. And then he sees Tani with Miyu, and Tani is overplaying the motion sickness just so he can sit with Miyu, because they've been with everybody else all day. He wants some alone time with her.
Yes. And then Tyra and Ozma are like hiding behind some trees, and Tyra's like, well, I can't give this to him now. I don't want to interrupt their special moment together.
And Ozma's just losing it just because they're having to hide behind a bush because freaking Tyra is too afraid to just walk up and be like, hey man, here's your furry stomach.
Yep. So she thinks it's super funny and also kind of sweet that he's being very considerate of like let the couple have like their alone time together. Which also has like the great joke at the end where he's like, well, since Tani doesn't need this, tries to open the bottle and it just like explodes in his face because he dropped it earlier when Ozma scared him.
Yep, which makes Ozma just lose it. And of course he looks up at Ozma. He likes seeing her laugh, and he kind of just goes, Ozma, you really are my classmate. And then she looks down at him, little sunbeam behind both their heads, and she goes, well, yeah, I'm your classmate. What does that mean?
What do you mean by that?
And he just looks at her, looks down, and goes, ugh.
Which is such a relatable moment because I'm sure many people have been in that situation where you want to say something really nice or poignant, but you get your words mixed up or you say the wrong thing, and it's like, I screwed up.
It's funny, but it's not awful because we already have the romance with Yamada and Nishi, with Miyu and Tani, with even him and Ozma. Like, this isn't putting anything on hold because we're already getting romance.
Yeah, like, I love that they're taking their side slow and steady while everyone else is either, like, already together or getting closer to being together.
Yeah, you get to kind of pick which dynamic you like the most. Do you like the quick couple who is very peppy and kind of awkward but cool? Do you like the big jock guy and the awkward girl? Or do you like the two quote-unquote mature people who aren't mature at all?
It's like Baskin Robbins. It's like you get so many different flavors of like rom-com in this one series. It's great. And speaking of Yamada and Nishi, we do get little moments of them throughout the class trip where Nishi wants to spend some more time with Yamada, but since everyone's in big groups, she's afraid of being perceived, being all like, oh, are you the girl that's in love with Yamada? And then Yamada takes this opportunity to be all like, hey, why don't we just hang out together after hours? Just us. Let's just chill together. Which leads to a great moment where Honda sees a text that Yamada sends Nishi, and then she's like, all right, get out of here. Go see him. I'm gonna go watch a live stream.
Yeah, she literally throws Nishi out of the room, sits on her bed, and just puts this weird, like, phone holder around her neck.
This necklace phone holder thing.
I'm gonna put on the screen right now. Look at this thing. Isn't this amazing?
I want that. I want to be able to lay down and watch, like, live streams with that thing.
Basically, it's like an iPad. Imagine that.
Oh, that'd be so sick.
Anyways, so on the Kyoto trip, they get to go to Universal Studio.
Ultra Super Jumbo Land trademark. Yeah, totally different. Yeah, check out all of these sites here. That is totally not USJ. That's totally not Super Nintendo World. That's totally not New York Street. That's totally not the main street right there. So different.
That's totally not the author's other characters walking by.
Yeah, who are these characters? Who could say? I don't know who they are. Also, why do they have ears? Isn't that a Disney thing? I mean, there's no such thing as Disney here. What is that?
Anyways, so we're not gonna spoil too much about what happens, but in general, we adore this show, and it really says if you have good friends, they'll support you no matter who you love, because that's how people should be your friends.
Yeah, like anyone who gets into like any kind of relationship, your friends should always have your back, no matter what.
To an extent, of course.
Yeah, of course. Like, if the other person is, like, objectively awful, then your friends should also be there to, like, stick up for you. So, good or bad, friends should always be with you, always support you, and always, like, be there to, like, give you a helping hand.
Yes, and also they should accept your partner's passions and communicate with them in a way that you both find comfortable.
Yeah, like, that's one of the biggest things that I really love about this series, is the fact that the characters actually talk to each other. They'll have moments where they get inside their heads, and then they actually say, hey, can we talk about this for a bit? And they do, and then they work it out. It doesn't feel contrived or forced or anything like that. It comes off super natural. It's so great. And also, yeah, like, no one is ever really going to find the perfect partner who loves every single thing you do, or thinks how you do, or does things how you do. There's going to be differences. You're going to have to make compromises, which is like the biggest thing in any relationship. That's okay. It's a good thing. It's good to expand your horizons, learn about the things your partner likes, the things they don't like, and kind of like figure that out together. It's all about broadening your horizons, making your world bigger than it already is.
Exactly. And also, like we said with Miyu and her ex, who you are in the past doesn't define who you are now. If you are a different person now, that's who you are currently. It doesn't matter if you were a dork in middle school. It doesn't matter if you were a loser back then. Who you are now is who you both love.
Yeah, like, the past doesn't affect the now. And also, everyone grows up, everyone matures, everyone changes. It's totally natural and totally fine, and you should expect that.
Mm-hmm.
And also, yeah, you can't force someone, like, just to be who you want them to be. Like, you need to have trust in who your partner is.
Yeah, you can't fix them like Ozma tries to do.
Yep. You need to learn how to respect yourself. You need to learn how, all right, this person is beyond any kind of saving. I shouldn't be wasting my time. Like, I should be using this time to be with someone who actually appreciates and respects me.
Mm-hmm. Someone who likes me for me and not because I'm just some convenient doormat who's pretty looking.
Mm-hmm. Or it's like, oh, you can be mommy to me and take care of me and do whatever to me. Or just a source to have, like, sex or whatever. Or just, like, any kind of superficial stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. And like I said before, it's alright to have worries, but don't get too stuck in your own head. Because that is what leads to miscommunications, it leads to bitterness. Communication is the key to a lasting relationship.
Mm-hmm. And if you do have those worries, it's totally fine. It's totally natural. We're all human here. It's part of being human.
Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of airing out those worries and working through them with the other person.
Exactly. And of course, with a show like this, especially with rom-coms, it shows that you can both be very hilarious, but also sincere at the same time, and you don't undercut your sweet, sincere moments with, like, you know, will that happen kind of jokes.
Yes, or you try and make any genuine moment interrupted, because at some point, when Miyu is at Tani's house, we hear saying, oh, I'm gonna bring cookies upstairs for you guys. And there's a shot of the door when they're having, you know, a close moment. So we're expecting, oh no, they're gonna bumble in, no! And they don't bumble in.
Yes, I love that. Or like a scene earlier where, like, Tani brings Miyu to his house and they bump into his grandmother. And there's not, like, any scene where Grandma's just all like, oh, who are you? You're not good enough to be with my Tani. She's just all like, oh, you seem like a nice girl. Here, have some vegetables. Thank you for taking care of my grandson.
Yep, because even though she's wearing, like, a shirt that shows her belly button, Grandma just thinks she's a sweet girl, because Miyu, like, introduces herself, bows a lot, is a little bit embarrassed. That's fine. Grandma just enjoys seeing who is with her grandson.
Or even, like, bits where, like, Tani and Miyu both tell their families that they are in relationships. They do it a little slowly, like Miyu tells her mom, and she's like, don't worry, I won't tell your dad or brother just yet. You can tell them when you're ready, but I'm so very happy for you.
Yeah, and Dad kind of finds out when Tani's at their house, when they thought that he was out to a baseball game. He comes home because it got rained out, and then they come downstairs, and they're like, oh, hi, Dad, this is boyfriend Tani. Hello. He's not embarrassed at all, but Dad is.
Yeah, he's just all like, oh, how do I act in front of my little girl's boyfriend? And I also appreciate that he is trying to make a good first impression. Like, he breaks out, like, this old Hawaiian shirt that his wife says he hasn't worn in ages. He's like, no, I want to look nice for my little girl's boyfriend. He's not, like, the angry dad type, like, step away from my precious little flower, that kind of thing.
Yeah, no, her parents are a little bit goofy themselves, which leads to a great moment on the way home, where Tani kind of goes, I think I know a little bit more about you now. Your parents remind me of you. Which, of course, makes me go, what does that mean?
You calling me lame there, Tani?
Yes, and I adore the dub. If you can watch this dub, please do it. There are so many little flourishes that they do. It's hilarious.
It's so good. Like, the real MVP, shout out to Celeste Perez, who plays Miyu. Like, she is, chef's kiss perfect with just... Even, like, the little noises she makes are just so funny. Like, it's the kind of performance where I'm like, I wish I could be a fly on the wall and just see her record and just act like an absolute goblin in the recording booth.
Yep. So, now that we know what's good, let's talk a little about what's not good. So, like we said before, there are numerous points where it goes out of his way to avoid showing the rom-com tropes. So, the setup is the same, but then they subvert it, whether it be showing the door during intimate moment, whether it be, they think it's cheating. Nope, it's just Miyu I know about Nishi to pull her into the friend group as well, because Miyu can't stop pulling people in.
Yep. Like, I really appreciate that this series, like, actively avoids doing any of the stale, just lame rom-com tropes we have just seen so many times in, like, other stuff. Part of the reason why we were so afraid at the first episode where it's like, oh no, it's gonna be like this all the time, please.
Yep. So, be more like polar opposites. Instead of another series we watched a few episodes of, hey Mikey, you wanna talk about gamers?
Not particularly, no.
We'll go crunch your cartridges, loser.
Go cry into your cartridges, loser.
It only goes down here from there, folks.
Oh, that's actually the best part of the series.
Yep. Episode 1. A guy is walking home with his lame-ass girlfriend, sees just a random guy from his school on a park bench, and just thinks, oh, that guy's lame. Go quench your cartridges, loser. You won't ever have a girl as cute as this one.
Yeah, this dumb girl that I'm just acting like I love, but I don't really love.
But we get ahead of ourselves, so what makes MC Kun in Gamer so bad?
He is just an absolute boring dish rag of a character, and I use that term character lightly. Like, the first time we see him, he's in the game section of a store, and he's just, like, looking at all, like, the sussy games, and then you see the lead girl, who's the most popular girl in school, and then he gets self-conscious about being there, being like, oh, what's this girl doing here? She's too popular, she can't be in this game section. Oh no, she can't see the sussy game I want to buy. Ah!
And of course, she loves sussy games. She's a big gamer herself. She leads the game club at school.
Because the most popular, most beautiful girl in school who can have anybody here has to be like, actually, she's a real huge nerd. Don't you love her? Isn't she everything you ever dream of, person watching this show?
Yes, and look, they say she's the most popular girl, but we never see her with any friends, where Miyu is always around Watanabe, Sato, Sadsak, Azuma, Tani. Like, so many people. Nobody is Tendo's friend.
Yeah, like, do you not have, like, a posse or anything like that? Can't you have, like, two little sidekicks? No, nothing like that.
Yeah, so we don't buy that, and so it shows a difference of perspective here. You are meant to be the main character of Gamers, Amano. You are meant to be the dumb nerd who suddenly gets the most popular girl who's also a nerd and is just lusting after you because it's rare to find a guy who likes games.
Is it?
What alternate Tokyo do you live in?
Girl, you have a game club with 2 other boys in it. One plays FPSs and one has amnesia. Like, why are you going after this waymo?
Yes, and everything in this show is built on contrivance after contrivance. Like, why does Tendo like this guy? Oh, because he might join the game club or something. We're not given a reason.
Yeah, or like you see scenes where like she's just fawning over him, being all like, oh my god, he's so cool. Why is he cool? I don't know, but he is though.
Yeah, and there's no reason anybody should like each other in this show. I buy that Miyu loves Tani because he is everything that she wanted to be. Straightforward, kind, intelligent, while Miyu was something that Tani wanted, being more outgoing, having friends, and they both get to share that with each other. Amano brings nothing to the table.
Yeah, no, and this show does everything wrong that Polar Opposites does right. Right down to stuff like doing a lot of like the lame rom-com tropes that we see, like the dumb useless slapstick, dumb fan service. We have bits where like the best friend character is basically the boy from like Witch Watch who kind of sees his like potential love interest as like a bit of a bother, being like, oh, why is this girl hanging out with me? I don't really like her that much.
Yeah, which they're only together because when he was a big dork in middle school, because of course he won a big stuffed doll on a crane game and just gave it to some girl nearby, which apparently made that girl fall in love with him into high school.
Yeah, and that made her change her appearance for him to attract him, not because she wanted to. And also, that same boy also changed his appearance because he just wanted to be accepted by everyone else.
Yes, it's like Miyu, but worse.
Yep, like everyone is not in service of themselves, they're in service of like other people.
Yes, and this show, I could go on for about hours, but we don't have time for that. So, one thing I want to get over here, the show is called Gamers. I don't buy these kids are gamers because they don't talk about games like someone who's genuinely interested in games would talk about games. At one moment, one guy says, oh, I loved this game, but then it went from a survival horror to a fishing game. No game does that!
Yeah, like, you're just doing, like, just weird monkey cheese random humor with this. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, it feels like someone who doesn't play games was told write a rom-com about games.
Yeah, just like an older person being like, let's see, video games. Horror game turns into a fishing game. Isn't that funny, kids? Why aren't you laughing?
And they say the most vague things about each game. It's like, oh yeah, that has the best writing I've seen. Oh, that has such good gameplay. They don't say it like you and I would talk about a game.
Yeah, which is ironic because they actually show real games in this, and it's like, oh, do you have anything to say about Persona 4 Arena Ultimax? Not really.
No. So, now that we've set up what's bad and how you don't share your passion with people, let's divert to a series that does show passion for their hobby.
Yeah, because I definitely want to stress that we aren't dunking on the show and using this as a bad example of, like, bad rom-coms because, oh, it's just a lame otaku baity show, quote-unquote. It's like, no, there's another. There's a show that does things that kind of reaches out to otaku, to dorks, to nerds out there, does it better, and is actually a really good show. I'm talking about My Dress Up Darling.
Yes! So let's talk about My Dress Up Darling. So for those of you not in the know, My Dress Up Darling is about a very popular girl who is a gyaru like Miyu called Marin Kitagawa, and she is popular at school, everybody loves her, but she has a secret hobby. She likes to cosplay. And main boy Gojo, he is a little bit of a loner. He likes to make Hina dolls, which is a very old tradition in Japan. So he only hangs out with his uncle. He likes to paint these Hina dolls. No real friends, whatever. Well, he tries to work at school one time in the craft room, and then he sees Marin come in, and she is in her weird scuffed cosplay, and she sees him with the Hina dolls. And what is your impression? Is she gonna walk up and say, oh, that's weird? No, she doesn't. She goes, oh, that's really cool.
Yes, that's the moment that makes Gojo realize, like, oh, Marin is different from other people, because another thing about his character is that when he was a little boy and showed interest in Hina dolls, he got made fun of by another girl. This girl saying, like, that's weird. Boys shouldn't like things that are for girls. And that's why he kept his interests, his passions to himself, because he doesn't want to be rejected again. But his whole world gets shaken when, like, the most popular girl in school actually is interested in what he's doing right here.
Yeah, and she's a massive dork. Like, she loves anime, she loves eroge, just like frickin' Tendo was in Gamers. But guess what? I buy she's into this stuff because her room is plastered with crap about these games. She is always making references. She shows Gojo these shows for their cosplay and quickly ropes him into helping her with cosplay. Well, she will put up some funds for him to buy the materials. He makes them, and she puts them on and realizes that dream of hers.
Yeah, like they are able to help each other out, and they share in each other's passions. Like there are numerous scenes where Gojo says like, "Oh, I don't really know much about anime. I don't watch it all that often," or "I don't really know much about this one game that you're trying to show me." And then Marin, and also by extension a lot of her friends, are all like, "Don't worry, we got you." Like we have really cute moments where Marin is showing Gojo this like old magical girl anime, and they're watching like the entire 50 episode run together. Or there's a bit where Gojo has to play like this really fucked up horror game to learn about how to make cosplay, and he spends the entire night awake, doesn't sleep, at Marin's place while he plays through the game. These are two people that have no idea at first what their passions were about, but by the end of it, you can totally see them getting into it and understanding it. And also, yes, even though she is very much a very like fan servicey girl. There's a lot of cheesecake with her, but at the same time, and also she's a bit of a arguably as a manic pixie dream girl, but at the same time, you said, you still buy her that she would be into all of this stuff. Like you believe it 100% through the way she talks about it, through her passion about all this stuff.
Yeah, like, I buy her being a little bit sexy just because she is just that confident and just fine with her own body and showing it to Gojo. So I don't find it as repulsive as just, like, a random shot of some girl or just
like
contrived situation.
Or like in the second episode of Gamers, where it just starts off with, like, the wind blowing up some random background girl's skirt up for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah, it's like, did you think people were getting bored?
What do you do? It's like, it's not even like a main character or anything like that. It's just some random girl.
Yeah, so that right there is not confident in its own message, while Dress Up Darling is confident. Freaking Marin shows Gojo her passion for cosplay, and he in turn shows his passion to her for Hina dolls, and they form a good rom-com. Sure, they extend it out longer than Polar Opposites, because they're the only couple, really, but Marin shows him, oh, here's my friends who support me and Gojo. You know, here's this other cosplayer who is also fantastic, and we rope her into the friend group. Here's this whole group of cosplayers who we make friends with along the way. It broadens both their worlds.
Yeah, like, it does some of the same stuff that Polar Opposites does to, like, really improve itself and kind of distance itself from, like, other rom-coms, and it does it well. You can do something with that, with something that talks about a nerdy subject, like anime, cosplay, games, and stuff like that.
Yeah, because nerdy stuff isn't a bad thing. We're an anime podcast, for frick's sake.
Yeah.
We went to Anime Detour. We met people there that I have never met, and it was fantastic. I love learning about these people. What I want, though, is a show to sell us on why this is bringing people together. Not just a contrivance after contrivance after contrivance.
Mm-hmm. I want to buy that the characters are into each other, how they're able to, once again, communicate, show interest in each other's, like, interests and passions, and, you know, like we've been stressing, broaden each other's horizon. And Polar Opposites, it's exactly all that and then some.
Yep, so like we said, they're believable on their own and together, and we buy them in a relationship. Nobody feels like they were just pushed together by the author because the author needed a self-insert and a manic pixie dream girl.
Mm-hmm. You could have Miyu and Tani, both of them by themselves are like 10 on 10s, and them together is like a 20 on 10.
Yeah, they make each other more interesting together.
And of course, the friend group, they aren't just like a tool, just be all like, hey, we're just going to be here to set up some random shenanigans or whatever. It's like, no, they feel like actual friends who have the main characters back, and they support each other and just welcome in new people, which is great. I love that the friends are all like, oh, you're bringing in someone new? Well, come on in.
Yeah, the friends are protagonists in their own right.
And of course, drama in general, it's so believable and so relatable. Many, many people out there, us included, like, we've often get in our own heads about something like, ooh, is this good? Is this right? And then we talk about it, and it's like, okay, let's work it out.
Yep. Author is aware of the tropes and swears past them, like we've said a few times. And the thing that I love the most about Miyu, besides her hilarious sense of humor, She is so stylish. If you're watching the video, look at these outfits. I adore them.
She is so dripped out throughout this entire series. It's amazing.
Just like Marin, actually. All these
Right.
Gyarus have so many cute outfits, which any anime that gives a character multiple amazing outfits gets a gold star in my book, because so many anime just show them in the school uniform and maybe one casual outfit.
Yeah. Which, I'm glad we get more outfits outside the school uniform with, like, the weird ecto-green scarf on the girls' uniforms. But if you want more polar opposites, if you're, like, really interested in this like we are, well, good news. There is a season 2 coming on the way, coming in this coming summer season. But if you can't wait, and if you are interested in seeing what the mangaka of the original series also does, aside from this, we recommend checking out Ramparts of Ice on Netflix.
Yes, this is a lot more dramatic than Polar Opposites, whereas Polar Opposite is a rom-com and is hilarious. Ramparts is more of a drama, and it has some funny moments, but it's nice seeing the person write something a little bit more serious.
Yeah, like, it's great to see that the mangaka is able to not be so pigeonholed in just, like, one type of writing. Like, it shows that they're able to expand out, branch out a bit more, and try their hand at something a little different, while still showing a little bit of that flair that you do see in Polar Opposites. Like, there are moments where the characters do little goofy moments, turn into little chibis. Like, a little chibi version of Koyun is very much on the same level as a chibi version of Miyu.
So that wraps up our Polar Opposites presentation. What are your some favorite rom-coms or romance anime? Whether it could be shonen or shoujo or whatever, let us know.
We'd love to hear what you say, and hey, we can discuss in the comments right down below. But as for that, thank you all for listening. I've been one of your hosts, Mikey Shiota. You can find me at my social media, MikeyShiota.bisky.social. Where can we find you, Prism?
Same website, icicleprism.bisky.social, and you can follow our podcast in general on Blue Sky at asabrigade.bisky.social. We're looking to do one of these a month, so stay tuned.
So yeah, stick around, sub to us if you want to, like the video if you want to, and be on the lookout for some more stuff. Like, this is a lot of fun. I'm happy to get back into the podcasting game, and hope y'all out there are happy to hear us too.
Yeah, I think the next podcast will be going to the moon.
Oh, yes. Really excited for all of you to hear us talk about this, because it's another series, or rather, another anime that came out this year that we've been really, really into.
So, thank you all for listening, and see you next time!
Later.